Good morning. Well, I guess afternoon now. Good afternoon.
Feels like morning.
It's whatever it is.
Yeah.
Welcome to this very special edition of Valley News Now. We're creating a new segment here, as you can. You can't really read behind me, but it's Inside the Newsroom. My guest today has already pointed out that we're not technically inside the newsroom, so that's already put a massive hole in it. But the segment's called Inside the Newsroom.
Okay, but that really is our newsroom.
Yeah.
I walked in here and got jump scared.
I took that picture on Friday. I blurred it, but you could see Duke working very hard in the corner right there. But that's what our newsroom looks like.
Yeah, this is my real desk, like right there. You just can't tell, but yeah.
Notice how I took it from an angle where you couldn't see my desk because I didn't want everybody to see just the food containers I have on there. That's not even a joke. That's like a thinly veiled joke at this point. But no, we want to start this segment kind of every week to kind of shine a little bit more of a spotlight on the work that goes into some of our stories within the newsroom. And I brought Stacie in for multiple reasons. One is because you're kind of a head honcho back in the newsroom now. Not a lot of people know that, and so I want to get the spotlight on that a little bit. And you also wrote one of the most viewed stories that we had on the website for the past week on the Fargo Communications team. That special report there, over 20,000 views on that so far. So I do just kind of want to put, first and foremost, people know you as an anchor here at Valley News Live, but the work that had to go into that Fargo Communications team, I just saw you head deep in papers for like an entire afternoon there. So just kind of the work that went into that and getting that report, as we'll pull up some information here on what that report entailed into the Fargo Communications team there.
It was wild. It was the report itself was 30 pages. Then they sent another supplemental report that was 10 pages, which might not, it doesn't seem like a lot, but gosh, it took me probably 3 hours to make sense of all of it and what exactly they did and who they talked to. And I'm on the radio every afternoon just a little after 4 with Jay Thomas on the flag. And
nice plug for that,
he
too.
said, yeah, thank you. He said, is there anything in there that would surprise people? Is anything actually scathing? And I think nobody really expected much out of it. And I said, no, actually, like, yeah. I'm so excited to post this. Like, this is, you never get this in an investigation, these kind of details. And it was very thorough.
And yeah, there are times, like you mentioned, we get these reports and you don't necessarily know what's going to go in there. So when you see, the allegations of poor leadership, hostile environments, mentioning, calling management, this is the quote from the reports there, intense, rude, demeaning towards employees. When you see things like that, do your eyes widen a little bit when you're writing stuff like that?
Absolutely. It's just so rare. I mean, half the time you and I apply for things or body cam video or reports or whatever, they're very expensive and we pay for them and jump through all the hoops, and then most times they're absolutely nothing. So this one was different.
Certainly, maybe not a more fun time, but certainly you had to dig into that, and then you had like shows to do that day too. So the work never ends there.
It's true. Yeah, I know people don't get that. I love that we're talking about it. People are always like, why don't you just come in like right before your show and have your makeup people do your makeup and then read that's so the opposite of how this works.
Well, another thing, and I hope I'm okay saying this, but Stacie also, literally before she came in here, just finished making everybody's schedules for every employee in the newsroom for the last 2 weeks too. So very busy. A lot of hands behind the scenes there. Kind of, what's it been like for you in that role, kind of taking on a more expanded role in the newsroom here?
I'm still getting used to it. So my title is assistant news director, and it's a lot. Yeah, it's scheduling and more managerial business type things that I have never experienced. I'm not trained in that, so I'm kind of learning as we go. But it's been wonderful. I am so grateful that they put the trust in me to figure this out, and our team makes it easy. We have such cool people.
I was going to ask, what's it like working with the lovely team at Valley News Live, including myself? I'm going to put myself in there, but
fantastic.
What's it like? What's it been like? You mentioned how helpful the team's kind of been in that regard with your new role here. What's it been like working alongside everybody back in that newsroom?
Well, you helped me out. I mean, you're a leader here too. You've been since you got here, but. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that genuinely really care about what we're doing here, and so it's hard to fail when you have people like that.
I really like our just group in general in that newsroom, and I've been here since 2019 in different roles here and there, but like the group we have back there right now, and that's another thing I really want everybody to know. Every single thing that people put out there, it's 100% their best effort.
Yeah.
And everyone's putting a ton of thought and care into it. And everyone that writes these stories is a person as well. That's another thing that tends to get lost in the shuffle sometimes. But so when you have a day like you had when you got that, I guess, 40-page report, then when you have that, and you're also managing, working with the news team, you got shows to anchor as well. How do you kind of approach that? How do you manage something like that?
Well, I'm hyped. That's what I
That's
love.
fair.
I know you love it too. But that everything took like a side, like that took center stage of my effort because I was excited to get it out there for people. I'm shocked at how much it resonated with people because I know we've been so deep in this and but then like it blew up on Reddit and there's all these comments and people saying I suddenly care about the mayoral election like next summer. Like it's bizarre.
And that social media, that site's the one we get to the last, it seems. So when it blows up on there, then we've done well.
We did something, yeah.
And I'm also very glad you mentioned the sometimes we get hyper-focused on these certain aspects or a certain type of story that we think is very fascinating.
Right.
It does not resonate.
And the people are like,
all.
okay.
So yeah, when you do have something like that, it just kind of helps validate a little bit more. And then so kind of what's the for those that may not know, the process of getting a 40-page report like that, you got to break that down, make it like understandable to everybody. What's the process start like for that?
Well, I mean, it starts at requesting it. We have to do that. I mean, there's like all these forms we fill out, then we have to pay for it, then there's a waiting period, then we finally get it back. And then in this case, there's so much backstory. I think we care about it so much because of all the drama with the chief and the mayor, and if you haven't been following the past month, you don't know any of that, so you don't really care about this report. So it was a lot of digging up backstory and trying to make it a way that people could digest it.
You mentioned, all the drama and everything. It's been a wild month. August, I think we were talking that today might be the first Monday we've had where somebody wasn't shot over the weekend. At least one that wasn't
if you were
reported.
Gonna say it. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to, get that out there. But what have you seen from this news team that you're, leading through these past few weeks, this month of August? We're kind of flying by the seat of our pants a lot of the time. What have you seen through this team in this kind of wild period here in Fargo?
Energy. Our people are eating this up. I mean, this is the kind of people you want in a newsroom that are like, hey, let's figure this out. Let's help keep people safe. Let's make a difference. Let's get these facts. Like, hey, why haven't we done this or questioning? And like, yes.
the meetings have been a lot more energetic through. And that's because we're all very highly caffeinated. Especially me. That's how we.
And Bobby.
And me, Bobby.
You and Bobby.
Well, and that's a dangerous row of desks to be at, which you can see right here, this fancy graphic I made. I just wanted to plug that one more time.
It's very fancy.
You talked about, we just got a couple more things to talk about here, then we're going to let everybody get back to work. But now, I know you're watching in the newsroom, get back to work. But I wanted to point out in the comments so far, I have the Facebook Live pulled up. So if you have any questions or anything, go ahead and ask. But the two comments that we've gotten are from employees here. We've got Alex Larson and Summer Schnellbach, both hyping Stacie up in the comments. Is this kind of the environment that you were talking about?
That's awesome.
Here? How rare is this in the news environment to have, this kind of supportive of a group?
It's incredibly rare. I mean, news people are their own breed. There's a lot of personalities.
That's fair. That's very polite. You handled that very well.
That's so nice. Yeah.
And then lastly for you, Stacie, just kind of, is there anything that you'd like people to, know as we continue to, plug away at these investigative pieces, some deep stuff that we're still waiting for information on a lot of things. We have a lot of lines out there trying to get more information. Is there anything that you want the viewer to know about, how this newsroom is progressing through this time here?
I would say send us your questions. Every single day we have 2 meetings where we and everybody else sit around a big table and just throw out questions. What do we want to know today? And we dig on it. And sometimes our viewers come up with questions that we haven't even thought of. So if you have anything, shoot us an email, and that it really helps to know like where other people's minds are at.
And that kind of goes back into with, our brains get so locked into some subjects and how fascinating they may be. We got to remember what the viewer's thinking about sometimes. And you guys, I will say, through, in my digital content role, I've watched through all the Facebook comments. I watched through every comments or any kind of feedback we can get. Definitely the emails and the Facebook messages. But you guys are no strangers to making your voice heard, and we do appreciate that. So
that was very polite.
Yeah, we appreciate it. As long as all the words are non-profane, then we're doing
That's
great.
right. Yeah.
Stacie, thank you very much for joining me on this very first episode of Inside the Newsroom. We're going to make this a weekly thing. Yeah, you're the first
I will be
one.
back, hopefully.
Yeah. No,
I enjoyed this a lot.
You know what? Anytime you want to come in. Stacie,
Amazing.
or we'll just make this a regular thing. We'll just check in with Stacie every week.
Inside the Newsroom with Stacie and Devin.
Yeah. We'll see who responds to my requests over the next few weeks, and then we might restructure this show.
That's true. I might have to like fist fight Bobby. This is going to be a thing.
You're going to have to hold him out of this office.
Yep.
But no, thank you very much, Stacie. Or SVD, as we know her in the newsroom. Have you thought about using that as like an?
That's how I label my food in the freezer.
That's where I've seen that. Okay, I just gave her a nickname, and it turned out it was actually a real one.
It's real, yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us. We're going to go ahead and shut this down. If there's anybody you want to see in a future episode of Inside the Newsroom, anybody that it could be weather team, anybody on the reporting staff, any anchors, anybody behind the scenes that you may have heard about. I know I've mentioned a few TMP guys on the air a few times, but in polite ways. Not rude at all. But no,
they're fantastic.
Yeah, they're great. I love everybody on our team. But if you want to see anybody in particular, please go ahead and let me know. But for now, for Inside the Newsroom with Stacie Van Dyke, I'm Devin Fry.